Goodhew.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Social Development and Employment. How is the government working to support and protect our most vulnerable children in care?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, we have announced a wave of initiatives under this government, like the Never Ever Shake a Baby, the ADHD Shake and Prevention Program, NGO First Response. We've got SIF social workers into hospitals, amongst many others. But, Mr Speaker, as part of Budget 2011, we have announced $43.7 million for services for children in care as part of this government's focus on children. And this package aims to address a range of unmet health, mental health and education needs for children in care. We've got about 4,500 children in care at any one time, about 2,200 that go in any particular year. These children are our most vulnerable and they need our help, and we can do better by them.
Chair Goodhew.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. What support services will these children now receive?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, we've broken it into a number of different initiatives. So the first way is the extra gateway health and education assessments of $15.3 million. That's ensuring not only those children who are already in our care or enter in a year, but also another 1,500 that go through the FGC process will be comprehensively assessed. Then once we know kind of what's wrong with them, we then need to work out what we do with them. So we put another $14.5 million into mental health services for children in care, so we can directly purchase the help they need. The early childhood education for children in care, $11.4 million. That's for those aged between 18 months and 3 years to make sure they can get 20 hours. And Mr Speaker, I'm very supportive of the parenting support that's going to foster parents and grandparents raising grandchildren, $2.4 million through Parents Inc. throughout the country.
Joe Goodhew.
Has she seen any other policy responses to the difficult issues facing our vulnerable children?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, I hear constant criticisms from the opposition that this government is not doing enough in the area of children, and certainly those most vulnerable children that need our help. Yet in the 1980s under the Labour government, Annick King completely rubbished the idea of a children's minister when a National MP actually suggested it. But now here we have her saying that nothing actually happened under 9 long years of Labour. A lot has happened under this government of 3 years, and now all she can do is try and recycle a very old idea that means nothing.
Order. We're not going to use that kind of question to attack the opposition. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard. Order. The point of order has been called.
Mr Speaker, it's just that the question, which is an ongoing one, of front bench or ministers currently sitting on the front bench continuing to talk even after she had seen that you were on your feet for quite some time.
Order. The member himself is not totally immune from such behaviour. Order. The member's not too bad, I accept, but then again, the minister sat down reasonably promptly. I mean, it's a judgment call when I sit a minister down like that, but I'm not too happy about. I realise these questions are perfectly in order, but and it's a matter of balance about how they're answered, and I don't want to hear overt attack on the opposition using that kind of question. That's why I sat the minister down. Question number. I beg your pardon, point of order, Honourable
Sorry, Mr Speaker, you finished with question 6, you're about to move on to question 7?
Indeed.
Yes, I just wonder if I could raise an issue in respect of the question itself, which is, were all comments he made on behalf of the Prime Minister in response to oral question 6 yesterday accurate? This is not a criticism of the question, just a point of clarification. The Minister, who I know is very keen to answer this question, but when he made those comments yesterday, he was answering on behalf of the Prime Minister, not as the Minister of Transport. To be helpful, the question could ask, were the comments the Prime Minister made in response to question 6 yesterday accurate, or does he agree with the answer that the Prime Minister gave in response to question 6 yesterday? But here we're confusing, I think, the role of the Minister of Transport in his capacity as the answering on behalf of, I should say, the Prime Minister yesterday. I don't think it matters for the purposes of the Minister's answers today, who I know is keen to answer them, but I just wondered if the matter might be considered by yourself.
Well, I hear the point the member makes, and he makes a good point. And I do want to clarify the situation for the House that today the Minister is being questioned in his role as Minister of Transport. So any supplementary questions relating to this primary must relate to any transport issues or transport comments made by the Minister in answering the question, oral question 5 yesterday. The Minister cannot be questioned on any other matters that he may have covered on behalf of the Prime Minister yesterday. As Minister of Transport, or at least the supplementary questions to be in order, must relate to transport issues that were commented on in answering question 5 yesterday. So question number 7, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question indeed is to the